back to the vlog. I am so excited you're here to spend a day with me as I sit here in my cozy, festive home. I'm really excited to share with you our amazing, fun snow day. As you can see, it clearly kicked off a wonderful weekend of festivity, but we'll get more on that later. I vlogged the whole process of decorating for Christmas, and that is coming up soon. But first, why don't you grab something cozy to drink? Come along with me as we make this delicious oat milk cinnamon vanilla latte. You're gonna love it. I start with warming up half a cup of oat milk in the microwave for about a minute. While that's heating up, I pour my pre-made coffee into a mug. Switch them out, put the coffee in the microwave, and take that oat milk and add in just a splash of vanilla and a spoonful of raw honey. Top it with a little cinnamon. Check out your handy dandy frother. You guys, this has been one of my favorite purchases because it just makes me feel like I get such a fancy latte with very minimal effort. So just froth that milk up to your desire. Your coffee's all heated up, your milk is all frothy. Pour the frothy milk slowly over your coffee, top with a little cinnamon, stir with your cinnamon stick. So good, right? All right, now that you got your beverage, are you ready to go ahead and dive right in? Thank you so much for choosing to spend a portion of your day with me. I'm just so happy to take you along. If you want to join our fam, all you have to do is click that subscribe button. That's it, you're in. Okay, so this snow day, my husband and I had in works for a while. We had a really stormy weekend here in Vegas, and when that happened, Mount Charleston got 9 inches of snow. Now, we have been promising to take our kids up to the mountains for years now. And the first year we were here, I was very pregnant and very uncomfortable and very grouchy, let's just be honest. So that never happened. The next year I had a newborn, and I just was very concerned about how to keep her warm up in the snow when we didn't have any snow clothes, and we didn't really want to invest in snow clothes for just an afternoon. You know what I mean? So this was our year. We knew we had to find a way to make it happen, especially since we aren't going home for Christmas. Home is Washington, where both of our families reside, and they usually have some pretty epic winters. If you were around last Christmas, you know, we got caught in that epic winter storm, and it extended our travel time quite a bit. Anyway, so when we heard that Mount Charleston had 9 inches of snow, we knew we had to make it up there. And so we planned to make it happen on a Saturday, and we kept it a secret from all of our kids except for one. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that Kellen has been sick with this cough all week. He was home from school. He was on some steroids to try to kick it, but he was starting to kind of spiral downwards mentally just from frustration of being sick so long, and I can't really blame him, right? So we did let him in on the secret just for the sake of keeping his hopes high. And all he could think about, you guys, was building a snowman. The cutest thing ever. He did get an opportunity to build a snowman with Grandma last year during our epic winter in Washington, but the snow was so dry that you couldn't even form a snowball properly. Like, you would try to ball up the snow and it would like fall out of your hands like the fake snow you play with. We literally had pitchers of water outside in the snow trying to like get enough moisture in it to form a snowball. The snowman was a hot mess. I'll see if I have any footage that I can show you because it was quite hilarious, but he was there for the adventure. But he needs like a real snowman adventure. So I was really excited for him, and he spent all weekend planning the snowman. So come the morning of, we let all the kids in on the surprise, simply because I had to get dressed in proper attire. And mind you, all of our snow clothes are up in Washington, but we grew up there, so we also know how to keep warm even when you don't have all the waterproof layers. So we layered everybody up like pajamas under jeans, or layers of sweatpants, socks, and then a change of socks and pants for everyone involved. Or at least so I thought. Everyone got all cozy up. We got in the car. Kellen packed our snacks, and he told me as we were loading in the car, he's like, "Mom, I grabbed a carrot for our snowman." And I was like, so cute, right? So we get everyone loaded in the car a little later than planned, mind you. And one of our neighbors, Wendy, and her daughter Ava followed us up in their vehicle so that they could join in on the fun. And I'm so glad they did, because Wendy saved my butt on more than one occasion this trip, as you'll soon see. And we start our journey up the mountain. We knew it was about an hour drive, and oh, you guys, it was so picturesque, beautiful. I am not quite sure anything compares to the desert in the winter. When you get out to like that secluded area and you're going up the mountains, and then you started seeing little peaks of snow around the cactus and the Joshua trees. Oh my goodness, it was one of the most stunning things. And then like right behind the mountains, the sun was like just peeking out at the perfect height, and it was just creating all those sun flares everywhere. There was something magical about that day. So we drive up the mountain. We had no idea where we were going. Everyone told us to go to the Lee Canyon side of Mount Charleston, said it was so much prettier and worth the extra trip. But we had no like address. We were just driving in the general location, and we get to where there's quite a bit of snow, and we just pulled off to the side of the road and went, that looks like a good spot. There was a hill, there was a flat area, there was lots of beautiful trees. And we got out of the car, and the kids were just like ready to squeal. It was so sweet. Got everyone bundled up in their layers. And I said, okay, real quick, before we get all wet and soaking, can we just do some family photos? And oh my goodness, they turned out so beautiful. I just wanted an updated family photo, put on our Christmas card for our own sake for Christmas. And it did not disappoint. The lighting was perfection. It was like the perfect amount of cold that it was like, it was pretty cold, but there was no like brisk wind that was just making it feel terrible. You know what I'm talking about? It was so gorgeous. It was like a Hallmark movie. So we get our pictures, we go, we add more layers, and I'm like, go play. They grab the sleds and they just take off running. And the very first thing they do is run towards this hill. And I'll say it was like the perfect hill. It was just perfect for the kids. So we took the younger two down several times, but it wasn't long before Kellen was asking to build a snowman.
Oh, whoa, Skylar, how is it up there? What's at the top? Let's go.
Do you want to build a snowman? The perfect, nice flat zone to build the snowman, and Nat starts teaching Kellen how to form a snowball with his hands, and then starts rolling it around in the snow so that he can pat it and just building these snowballs bigger and bigger. And Kellen goes, "Mom, the carrot!" So I'm like, okay, I'll go get the carrot, no worries. I grab the keys and I head over to the car, which was just a short little walk. And I go dig out this carrot and I come out and think, oh, this is the perfect opportunity to post to my stories this picturesque place. I'm sitting here literally spinning in the snow thinking, this is like a Hallmark movie, it's so magical. And little did I know that that was the moment my keys fell out of my pocket. But I was completely oblivious, so I walk right back over to the snowman just in time to see Kellen stacking the last snowball on the top of the snowman, and then we help him find sticks for the arms, and he puts the carrot nose in, and we find little rocks and pine cones to be the eyes and the buttons and some sticks for the mouth. Like, so darling. We even stole Davina's hat to put on top of it because she had no interest in keeping a hat on. She was perfectly fine to freeze her little ears off. That kid was so joyous. Every parent knows that there is nothing brings out the magic of Christmas and winter like seeing it through the eyes of your child. And his eyes in that moment were just lit up and sparkling. He just oozed joy. It was such a precious moment. We pulled all the kids over, we took some cute photos of everyone, and we went back to sledding for a few minutes, but it wasn't much longer till everyone started to feel the cold. Our jeans were wet, our shoes were wet, and of course Davina, being the toddler, was feeling it the most, and on top of all that was just starting to get hangry. So she just started getting really fussy and screamy. So I said, okay, everyone's got to start packing up, grab all the stuff. I'm going to start walking her slowly to the car to get in. We get up to the car and my husband goes, hey babe, can you unlock the door? And I go, what? And he goes, well, you have the keys. I'm like, oh, like literally my heart sank to the ground. Like I was like, uh-oh. And he's like, you don't have the keys? So I'm like, everyone check your pockets. So everyone's digging in their pockets, checking the sleds. I literally was checking like my sweater pockets, my jean pockets, my coat pockets, Davina's pockets. I'm like, okay, they're not here. And my husband's like, when's the last time you had them? And I'm like, okay, I went to the car to get the carrot and I put them in my jeans pocket. And I kept digging deeper in my jeans pocket thinking like, well, if I dig low enough, it's going to magically appear. And they did not. Yeah, I started to cry, and my husband, I will give him this, he was angry, rightfully so, but he didn't lash out, he didn't yell at me, he didn't make me feel worse than I already felt. He started backtracking our steps in the snow. Thankfully, we'd only really gone to like 3 major areas, and so he had the 2 older kids with him, and they just started like walking through. I went and joined them for a while, left Davina with my neighbor sitting in her car. Thank goodness she had her keys and could keep Davina warm, and had like some baby wipes to wipe the nose because you know how it is in cold weather. And I traipsed around in that snow looking for my keys for 20 minutes, bawling my eyes out before one of the other families who was out there, who we didn't know, decided to pack up and walk to their car as well. And as they did, they were parked right in front of us. They said, wait, aren't these your keys right there? Oh, some dear soul clearly found my keys in the snow and placed them on the hood of my car. Because I will tell you, not a day in my life have I put my keys on the hood of the car. I attached them to myself. I put them in pockets. I put them in my purse. I put them in the diaper bag. I do not put them on the hood of the car. But I'm so grateful to whoever that dear soul was. That was just so kind. They could have just left them laying there in the snow and hoped for the best. Like, I don't even know what I would have done in that situation. Comment down below what you would have done if you would have found someone's keys laying in the snow. Oh, it was smooth sailing after that. We got in the car, we got everyone buckled in and cozied up, and we got pants changed and socks changed and blankets wrapped around everyone. And we decided to go a little further up the mountain because we were told there was a lodge and possibly some restaurants and food. So we drove up there. We get to the part where everyone's parking and getting out, and I'm going, I don't see a lodge. I don't see any restaurants. Now, there very well may have been, but everyone was kind of cold and cranky at this point, and the last thing we wanted was to get out of the car and wander around for there to be nothing and then have to get back in the car. So we just decided to call it. We turned back around, went down the mountain, and we're like, we will find the nearest restaurant we can to get some food in our bellies. At this point, it was like 3 o'clock. So we're driving down the mountain, and we have this old grandma in front of us who is just like brake happy, even though no one's on the road. The roads are completely clear. She's just constantly braking, like has to stay under the speed limit, you know, that type. Well, every single time our car was braking, or we were braking, our car was like shuddering as we were going. And at first we were like, oh, the car is probably just cold, give it a minute. But after a couple minutes, it was still like, it was pretty severe, like every time, to the point that the kids were going, is there something wrong with our car? And my husband is quite the car guy. He goes, I'm pretty sure it's nothing, but why don't we find a place to pull over? I'll just check all the lug nuts, make sure nothing is stuck in the wheels. We'll just make sure everything's good. I'm like, well, good, because I really have to pee. I mean, we left at 10 o'clock. It was now 3 o'clock, and I had not gone to the bathroom yet. And I'd been holding it this whole time. I was like, I really have to go to the bathroom. And he was like, well, there's not going to be a bathroom. I'm like, it's been worse, right? If you followed my cross-country road trips, you know I have plenty of experience peeing on cactus and behind bushes. And this was another one to add to my roster. We pulled over on the side of the road. My husband checked everything. I ran out into the desert behind a cactus and prickled my butt a little bit, but it's okay because I relieved my bladder. We climbed back in the car. He said all the lugs are tight, and we got back in the car and there was no more shudder. Like, it was gone. So I don't know what it was. Maybe something was stuck up in there and it just like came out when we stopped. Who knows? But it was smooth sailing the rest of the way. We stopped at Cafe Rio. Tummies were happy. Kids were cheerful and chattering about all the best moments up on the mountain. And we just had the best day. And I just feel like doing something like this, like having a snow day, was the perfect kickoff for getting in the holiday spirit, feeling festive, getting our house set up for Christmas. As you can see, we clearly ended up doing the same weekend. It was just so wonderful. So if you have mountains nearby, if you have snow nearby, take the opportunity and just do it. It doesn't need to be forever. It can just be a couple hours, but we just made such great memories there. I'm so thankful we did it. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with us and supporting me here on my page. I absolutely love that I get to share a portion of our lives here with you and that you are here to enjoy it. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and let me know so I can create more content like it. It also really helps my page and gets more eyes on my content. And don't forget to leave me a comment down below and let me know your favorite thing to do to get into the holiday spirit. Cheers, until next time.